Welcome back to the All-American Savage Show podcast. And our cameras are all out of whack. I don't know what. Oh, because I cut the power in the freaking building because I'm an idiot.
The power out.
My bad. If you're watching on Rumble and stuff like that, I apologize. Let me get this fixed real quick. We've had some power issues, apparently, with the camera settings we've got going on here. So that's a mobby. All right, look, we're fixed. You see, I fixed it. Whoa, I'm huge. That's what she said. Oh, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us today. Welcome back to the All-American Savage podcast. And how are you doing, you sexy son of a bitch?
Doing good.
What'd you do over the weekend?
Usual dad stuff. Soccer game. Last flag football game.
I was about to say how'd that go because I know you were like really looking forward to the fact that it was the last of the season.
It was good, man. We won.
You won?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
You know,
the football game or the soccer game?
My daughter tied.
Okay.
Their soccer game, and then Blake they won their game. So, but it wasn't without its drama.
What happened?
Like just some of these guys that are coaching these teams just
go
overboard, man.
I was about to say they're a lot, aren't they?
Well, our game had started, and they have a really nice field. They split it up into 4 different flag football fields.
Okay,
and then I don't know. I guess they're vying for first place, second place, third place. So when they do their playoffs and stuff, well, these guys are going at it, like
with each other.
Yeah. It starts to get louder and louder, and then one guy starts dropping F-bombs.
Whoa, in front of the kids?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And so I've got like 3 kids on the sideline, and I'm like looking over at them, and I'm like, okay. And then
it's too much.
They make their way behind like our kids, and this guy drops another F-bomb. I'm like, hey man, I was like, I got kids here, and this guy didn't. He could care less that he was around children, acting a fool, dropping F-bombs. And all this other. Finally, they escorted him off of the field.
Oh, good, good. So they got rid of his dumb ass.
I'm like, it just ruins the experience.
It does. Kids shouldn't have to endure that type of shit. That's what puts. And unfortunately, raising kids to be like that is what creates parents that act in very similar fashion.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's like some really toxic behavior that really
is.
That's like you don't learn good sportsmanship from a parent like that.
It's supposed to be a Christian league.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's like you're praying before the games, after the games. It's supposed to. I mean, I get the competitive edge and everybody wants to win, and, I'm all about that. But I'm also about being a good sport, being humble in victory and defeat, something that we learned a lot about this season. But, it was disappointing to say the least that just
it's not shocking
to see some coaches acting like that, in front of these kids where you're supposed to be a role model. You're trying to be a give these kids,
why do
a
I
measuring
imagine
stick
a New
of
Yorker kind of? It was like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck's going on with these people? Who the fuck? Like, I don't know. That's just what I have in my mind. It's weird.
No, he was just like, play golf, bro. Play golf. Instead of football. Like, it's like, just because you play football, you got to act like a D-bag. But
sounds like one of those high school parents, or one of those parents that's kind of like reliving their childhood or their lack of childhood through their kid.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, just calm down.
I was like, calm down. I enjoyed it too.
I know that you peaked in high school, but chill.
Like, it's the whole experience is just to be out there with your kid. Or
it should be a fun time. I mean, there has to be a modicum of moderation, if you will. Like, you do want them to be competitive. You do want your kids to want to be the best.
Sure.
And you never accept defeat and never be like satisfied with losing. Accept losing and understand why you've lost, but don't like it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like parents have missed that point, but then they go too far the opposite direction to where you have the guy sitting there dropping F-bombs in front of kids over a fucking game. It's like, look, this is where you start. Like, honestly, if you really think about it, for children to grow up and be winners, that's where it starts. Mm-hmm. That's exactly where it starts. Teaching them the right way to accept defeat, the right way to win, how to be competitive and still remain humble, if you will. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when you have people like that, they just fucking ruin it for everybody. Yeah. That sucks. That really sucks to see.
I don't know that we'll go back to that league. It wasn't that great of an experience.
Who controls it?
It's the Drew Brees League. It's Play F&A. Romo was out there. His kid plays in the league. Obviously their team was one of the better teams in the league, which is, I don't mind losing.
Yeah.
Like, our kids showed
up. I mean, you've
up.
done enough of it.
You got to learn humility in defeat and in victory, and I think that's what we did yesterday because we won handedly yesterday.
Yeah.
But I told the kids, we're not going to, start pointing at the other kids or doing any of that stuff. That's
you just got to look inwardly and see where we can be better.
Yeah,
100%. That's a good way to be.
So,
well, that's awesome. I didn't do dick all this weekend. I chilled. I relaxed. I smoked ribs for the first time. Didn't screw them up too bad. Left them on a little too long. They were still slightly tender, and I made them a little too spicy.
Oh, really?
Spicy ribs. They were good. Spicy. Edible. I mean, they were delicious. Don't get me wrong. But they could be better. So I was like, all right, so I'm good. Tonight I'm making burgers, deer burgers, so I'm looking forward to that. But no, chill weekend, man. Ribs on the grill, smoked the ribs. We're on there for about 4 hours. Had a Halo. Was sipping on some wine. Had a cigar. Dude, it was a great weekend. It was chill.
Yeah.
It was just a nice, relaxing weekend. So, but yeah.
That's good.
Anyway, what's up, Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, whatever platforms we're streaming on that we haven't been banned on yet. Give it time, we will. Hopefully you come over here to the Rumble channel. If you're on the Rumble channel, do me a favor. Hit that plus button. Give us that plus because that helps boost the video in the algorithm. That's what the people at Rumble themselves told me. So when you hit that little plus button on the video, that actually helps us out a lot. We really appreciate that. Well, we got a lot of news to cover today. Dude, transgenders, once again, back. Transgenderism's back on the menu, boys. And I'm telling you, dude, it just gets pathetic as fuck at this point. Like, you know, we're facing a very serious conundrum here. But before we get to that, this episode is brought to you by, and you know how it goes, shellshockcbd.com. If you've never tried our products, you should. Give us a try. Give us a chance and an opportunity to earn your business. If you have trouble sleeping, if you're dealing with stress and or anxiety, and I cannot tell you people enough, like I sit there, I take about maybe a quarter of a gummy every morning, and I feel good for the day. Like I had a quarter one this morning before I went to the gym. No anxiety, feeling happy. Just a great feeling, a great mood enhancer. I'm not baked out of my mind. I can still function like a normal human being. Nothing is impaired. I think of it like taking a Tylenol for a headache, or something for like antidepressant, which I'm not depressed, but you get where I'm going with that. And dude, I have to tell you, like, instead of like doing it for the feeling of just being stoned, pulling it way back as far as consumption and doing smaller amounts to help get through the day, bro, it's turned my mood around. I just feel so much more grateful, so much more happy. Sex is fucking incredible on it. I'm no pun intended on that one. I'm telling you, it's an amazing thing. Like, because I think since we've launched this, I've looked at it more so as a way to like, we're going to have fun. We're going to get stoned versus pulling back the dosage on my own and just saying, you know what, I'm going to use this to try and see if it can moderate my mood. And it does effectively. Now, granted, people could be worried about that, saying, well, if you can't face reality or real life, it's like, no, I still can. Don't get me wrong. But this is just like, I'd rather be happy. I'd rather be happy in so doing it. And I felt great.
It's
I feel
all
amazing.
natural supplement.
All natural. There's no negative side effects to this.
Right.
And I love it. And that's why I'm just waiting for Big Pharma to like put their big meaty fingers and their little sausage fingers in there and try and fuck with it. So
we've been getting a lot of great reviews on Google. We had this one come in from Ryan, who was a podcast listener. So he's 38 years old, has been 20 years in trucking and dealing with heavy machinery, so the aches and pains eventually catch up to you. Decided to give the Rack Out gummies a try, and I must say it's a game changer for me. I get much better sleep at night, and I get much needed relief from those aches. Highly recommend. I mean, there's 276 of these reviews on Google. They're fantastic, man. It's great to hear that. So thank you, Ryan, for giving a shout out there. Appreciate it, buddy.
We're dealing with freaking power shit here. For some reason, the damn AC in the office is not working. It's just more shit we're dealing with. They were tarring the roof, and it's raining today, and we got a leak. So, oh my God. It's always something. But anyway, there you have it. Again, check out the Halo Ultra Gummies at shellshockcbd.com. Code Burke will save you 10% off that first order. And if you become a subscriber, you get that 10% off every single time. Every single time. And you get a reorder monthly, bi-monthly, every 3 months, once a year. It's completely up to you. You have that option on our website. So if you want to become a subscriber, get 10% automatically deducted from your monthly order and get it sent to you every month at the same time. What do you got to lose? Improve your quality of life. Give us a shot. Again, that is shellshockcbd.com. All right. Well, let's get into the news. Let's see if the cameras are all fucked up in this frame. Oh, and look at that. They are. Son of a bitch. That's what happens when I accidentally cut the power. Well, to my credit, the electrician that set up that fucking breaker box, he did it backwards. He set the breakers in there backwards. Like
did he?
Yeah. Oh. Normally they all go the same direction. This one doesn't. Like he's got, I don't know. It's like he added on to the old breakers and it was just like, you fucked it up, bud. You fucked it up royally. Way to go. Way to go. But anywho, now explain. I'm waiting for an explanation on this one. This is interesting to me. In Britain, a trans woman uses her penis to play keyboard on live television, and this is from Breitbart. They use the word "her" in parentheses. Okay, forgive me, but isn't public indecency and nudity, isn't that a crime?
Yeah.
So what makes it okay for this trans person to do it? The article reads, a transgender comedian in Britain has been praised after stripping naked and using her penis to play the keyboard on live television. This is a man that is sexually transitioned into a woman, or pretending to be a woman. We'll just say that because I'm not going to acknowledge and deny science. Jordan Gray, a British biological male comedian who identifies as a woman, has been praised by leftists for stripping naked on live television before playing the keyboard with her penis. Folks, people are praising this whack job for stripping naked on a television program that children watch with breasts surgically implanted and also containing a penis, and you want your children to see this. Any leftist that supports this, you're a fruitcake. You're a pervert. You're a degenerate. How are we not? I just don't get how liberals can look at this and see this as a good thing. It's beyond me.
Yeah, I got to stop using the word, or people just have to stop using the word her.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, I saw someone make a comment that talked about, like, this is what happens with the, if it doesn't affect me, I don't care. Mm-hmm. But what's the point? Where do you draw the line before criminalizing something like this and still... and at the same time, infringing on someone's freedom? Mm-hmm. This is the problem that we face. This is a conundrum. It's like, you have the freedom to do this, but you shouldn't do it. This is stupid. This is idiot. I mean, this is just moron think if you really want to boil it down to it.
Are they allowed to show full nudity on television over the UK?
Oh, well, I mean, on a channel like that, I don't think so. But at the same token, though, we're just looking at this kind of like, this is why nobody likes the trans community anymore. You're losing so much ground and of your own accord. And I've said it, you know, we've said it time and time again. When the LGB included the T into their little alphabet mafia, you fucked up. You fucked up big time. These people are unhinged. And again, the trans community is not about sexuality. It's about gender. That has nothing to do with the LGBT. That's gender based. This is what they do. And it's just funny to me. This is just, it's crazy that parents, like if you really want to freaking go after these people, go after the parents that are okay with these child drag shows, that are okay with this type of perversion and sexuality being forced on the masses. And again, that's why, by and large, the LGBT, until the LGBT openly starts condemning this action, which they can't, they've dug themselves into a hole, they're going to lose all types of credit. People are not going to want to fuck with the LGB because this is included with them. Yeah. Even members of the LGB are seeing this and saying, wait a minute, this is just, it's too much. When you included the trans nut jobs, you sunk yourself.
Do you think it'd be different if people who lived a transsexual life went around and made neighborhoods better, cleaned up, and really started impacting instead of making them out?
It's not going to happen.
The penis or vaginas.
It's more so of forced acceptance. And look, I'll tell you this right now, like 1% of the population that is trans, 99% should not have to change their views to accommodate your whack. I mean, even the statistics, the data even shows, if you're like 1% of the population of 350 million people, there's probably something wrong with you by and large. That is not normal. Well, what is normal? The 99% of the country.
Yeah, how you're born. That's how most people are born. That's normal.
Exactly. So, man, I'm telling you, the older I get, the more that I see this, you do have to reject progressivism and embrace traditionalism, because traditionalism has the fundamental foundations that work. This does not. This is like, falling more and more into moral decay. Again, it started with, we just want to get married, and now it has devolved into, let us bring our children to your drag shows. There's no denying that. I mean, everybody can try. You got people on the left, they're going to do their best, their damnedest to try and scientifically justify this through their research and data from, activist scientists. But this right here, there's no denying this. It started with the initial acceptance, and now it has devolved into this. So where is the line? Where do we stop, America? We have to ask ourselves these questions, because now the entire world is laughing at us. We think we're paving the way into a new generation, a new era. No, we are paving the way into a realm of insanity. This is not a good thing. This is just ridiculous, because with freedom comes responsibility, and the responsibility not to go over the edge of insanity just because you can. When you become adult, when you're a child, all you want to do is not take naps and eat as much chocolate as you want. And then you become an adult and you start to realize, like, oh, I can't eat all that chocolate because it's going to make me feel like shit. Well, just because you have the option to do it doesn't mean you should. It's not necessarily what's in your best interest to do it. Well, this is case in point of that. Looking at this fruitcake, it's just, there's no denying these people are insane. They are insane, folks.
Insane.
According to an archived webpage, Gray was listed as being a patron of the Educate and Celebrate charity as of Saturday, with the NGO frequently pushing for a greater acceptance of transgenderism with the British school system. Hello, Britain, you lovely bitch, Gray said, introducing the act on Friday Night Live program, an omnibus comedy program which starred a number of other mostly left-leaning comics on Channel 4, which is owned by the British government. Gray proceeded to sing a song about being transgender, expressing a desire to crawl back in the womb and start again against God's plans with different glands and smaller hands. I don't know why you want to do that, because they probably just abort you. Actually, you know what? I'm all for it.
You know what?
You see? Maybe it's not such a bad thing we let liberals abort themselves. I mean...
You know what I mean? It's interesting.
You just... Dude, I don't know what to say to this anymore. Every day I wake up and I look at this and I'm like, this is really the biggest news articles in our country. And it doesn't just stop there. It doesn't just stop there. Biden had an interview with this trans dude. And he's big, he's huge on TikTok. I think he's got a couple million followers, some shit like that. Where's it at? Yeah, Twitter's shocked by Biden interview on transgender surgery, public restroom use, miles ahead of their skis. Biden said states should not have the right to ban any medical procedure for transgender Americans. Okay, that's not so simplistic of a statement to just agree or disagree with on its own. As an adult over the age of 18, you should have the right to do whatever the fuck you want, but states do regulate. As far as minors go, yes, that should be that should be at the federal level. That's like that's a child protective thing. That's a basic thing. Like, no state should be able to say it's okay to mutilate children. That's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that should just be like...
And people like Democrats seem to understand.
Like,
yeah.
Everybody should know that.
That like some states agreeing that it's okay to molest children. Like, what? Huh? Are you fucking kidding me? Just because a state practices democracy, as outlined by our Constitution, doesn't make it right. It's morally reprehensible. Conservative Twitter users were left stunned after President Biden said it was, let's not even joke about this. It's not even just conservatives at this point. There's a lot of Democrats saying, what the fuck is going on? They see this. They see this. We're left stunned after President Biden said it was wrong for states to ban gender-affirming care and people should enter public restrooms based off their gender identity. We're back to this again. No, a grown man in a dress should not be using the women's restroom. You're a man. Fucking act like it. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Why are we having to change everything to accommodate those with gender dysphoria? Why? It's nuts.
I know. It's not like we have extra cash to burn, right?
Yeah. And I love how they've changed now the phrasing of this to where it's no longer about trans issues or children's issues. It's about gender affirming care. I love how they've used that as like the head of their little page of complaints. Well, nobody should be denied gender affirming care. Yes, the fuck they should if they're a child. That's not gender affirming. What you're wanting to do is their gender affirming versus what science says. If you're a man, because I feel like this is delving back into that idea of I can be anything I want to be if I put my mind to it. Yeah, but there's limits to that, dipshit. You can't be like a dog cannot become a cat. You can cut the dog's hair short. You can surgically remove the muzzle and shit like that, but it's still a fucking dog. And human beings are no different. And if you say otherwise, I'm sorry. You're just a science denier. Trust the science.
Got to.
I don't think any state or anybody should have a right to do that as a moral question and as a legal question. I think it's wrong, Biden said. I love the fact that 10 years ago, or a generation ago, Biden also was openly racist. And he was openly against gay marriage. And now he's all for mutilating little children. This guy will say anything he can to get elected or to stay in power. These politicians are spineless, weak, just cowards. Can you imagine?
Bags of dog shit.
Just advocating for a child to undergo surgery to remove its genitals. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. And honestly, I feel like if for some reason the red wave doesn't hit, and this continues, dude, it's only going to end in violence. And a part of me is kind of like, that's the only way this gets fixed, because if it's not voted in, we've lost. Yeah. Like, this country is lost. Like, and that scares me, bro. It scares the fuck out of me. They're already doing this in the military. The gender bullshit, they're already doing it in the military. This scares me, man. If this red wave doesn't hit and Democrats retain power, how much worse is it going to get?
I think there's a really good chance that Republicans retake House and Senate, despite what the Democrats keep saying. Because even his attempt to do student loan forgiveness isn't legal. So, and right now it's held up in courts.
Yeah.
Because like it has to go through Congress. Like it has to be voted on. You just can't magically take out your depends and whip them around and be like, oh, I'm going to give everybody their college funds back. You know, it just doesn't work like that.
Well, this TikToker, this guy's just the biggest fucking wacko. He's a boy, I would say. They say he's a man. He's a boy. He's actually a man. He's old enough to be a man who has undergone transition, and he is just so very flamboyant. I don't know the history of this person, but he went to talk on his late son, or this is referring to Biden, who said he passed the broadcast legislation in America dealing with the gender-affirming capabilities. As former Attorney General of Delaware, Biden also expressed concern over the idea that transgender Americans could be prohibited from certain medications or procedures. I feel very, very strongly that you should have to have every single solitary right, including use of your gender identity bathrooms when public, Biden said. It doesn't even make sense. This guy's a rambling fool. The White House did not immediately respond when asked if Biden's comments also applied to Americans under the age of 18. Stunned conservative Twitter users suggested it was an unfavorable position for Biden to hold headed into midterm elections. Well, this is coming from Republicans, though. Anything Biden says, they're going to say this is not the position to hold. But I will agree in the sense of, like, again, moderate Democrats seeing this are just like, this is insane. This is nuts. But this is what the DNC represents now, folks. This is what the DNC represents. And by and large, I see people on the left going after Republicans saying they want us under one big theocracy. I can see where there's kernels of that, little tidbits of that throughout the GOP, but it's not a mainstream thing that I've seen. It does concern me. It does bother me that people start saying that we have to have legislation that is founded in Christianity. No, I don't agree with that. But I feel like each religion should be left the hell alone. But the same things the left are accusing the right of, I don't see mainstream on the right. And I would be honest with you. If I saw it, I'd be like, this is a problem. But it's not as big of a problem as they make it out to be. So I think Democrats, by and large, are clutching at every little pearl they think is a pearl they can get their hands on to condemn the right and demonize the right. You've got Chris, whatever that dude's name that's running against DeSantis in Florida, who keeps accusing him of being an authoritarian. Yeah, I know. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is democracy in practice. This is what the majority of Florida voters want. Yeah. And you sitting there, I mean, bro, this guy's going to get slaughtered in the polls. And I love it because it's like, this is like trying to turn California red. It's probably not going to happen anytime soon until we go down really deep into the insanity.
I don't know, man. I think California's a lot closer than Florida is. I just think there's a lot of election fraud that goes on in California.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So I think that's a big reason why it's hard for a Republican to get a foothold in there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, did you hear the story about how the Census Bureau undercounted Republican states and overcounted?
It doesn't shock me.
And so it's like here in Texas, they undercounted by 2%. So we were underrepresented. Like Republicans were underrepresented in Congress. Is that?
I think the MSM is going to tell you whatever it is they want you to think, so they can in turn, hopefully. I mean, if you look at the QAnon things back during the 2020 election, I feel like a lot of people maybe got lackadaisical or lazy, because QAnon was like big red wave, blah, blah, blah. So I think people got a little complacent. I think it was a big psyop. I mean, it could have been leftist driven. I don't know. But at the same token, what I don't want to see happen is everybody say red wave, red wave, red wave, but it's okay. I don't have to go because other people are going to go for me. No, everyone has to go to the polls. Everyone has to make a massive turnout. There is no denying this. You've got to make a massive turnout. Do not give up. But to go back to this article, this kid, he sits there in the interview. I don't think we have a soundbite for, but just so we're clear, the official Democratic Party position now is that puberty blockers and sex reassignment surgery for kids is good. Popular right-wing accounts like Libs of TikTok replied. Hold on. Stunning concern. Okay, not exactly the winning midterm message, the New York Post's Miranda Devine wrote. Now, the New York Post, to my recollection, is more centrist, right-leaning, and the one, the New York Times, is way left. Because from what I've seen from the Post, New York Post, they get it right a lot of the times, which I'm impressed with. But at the New York Times, bro, they're as far left as you can go.
Garbage.
So when I see the New York Times come out with a post that is like not so far left, it's like, whoa, well, that's different. It'd be like CNN reporting on a Republican thing. It's like, what the fuck? Like in a positive light. That's what I mean. But Daily Wire senior writer Ryan Savadera responded to the video with a quote. And this is the video you can see right here. Oh, it's a fucking ad right here. I don't think people can hear it. Yeah. But this guy that Biden interviewed, this girl rather, whatever it's a dude. that he interviewed. He's massive on TikTok, and everything he does is like, it's so over the top. The mannerisms, the way he talks, it's like you're pretending to be a woman. It's like, no, you're not. You're pretending to be a fucking gay man. That's the stereotype of a standard gay man. And don't tell me these stereotypes aren't true. When by and large you see mainly, you don't see straight dudes acting like this. You see homosexuals do this because it fits into a narrative, a biased, stereotypical narrative that they themselves have fabricated to be different. Look what you got. Women don't act like this. Women don't talk like this. This guy is he's just fucking weird. Joe Biden says it's wrong for states to ban sex reassignment surgery and puberty blockers for kids. Bro, I want them screaming this from the rooftop. Like, I love this. Like, this is a great thing. This is a great article. This is a great interview that needs to happen. You need to magnify this voice, magnify this message, because I'm telling you, moderate Democrats see this and they're just like, and I get it. We tend to think that all people on the left are SJW types. They're not. The SJW types is a fringe part of the DNC. There are still moderate Democrats there. And the more that moderate Democrats see what their party has become, the more they're going to move away from the left. You're going to see them walking away left and right. Daily Wire senior writer responded to the video with a quote, and he's talking about the video of Biden's interview with this transgender TikToker and former Attorney General Bill Barr, who claimed the current assaults on religious and traditional values were the result of organized destruction by progressives rather than a general moral decay. Bill Barr, this is not decay. It is organized destruction. Secularists and their allies among the progressives have marshaled all the force of mass media, popular culture, and entertainment industry and academia in an unremitting assault on religion and traditional values. And he's not wrong. Mm-hmm. He's not wrong. Why do you think it's perfectly acceptable to demonize a white Christian male? White Christian in general, or just Christian in general, hell. Mm-hmm. But they won't say anything about Islam. Never. They won't touch it. But they're perfectly fine doing this. Why? We need to ask ourselves that.
Why?
YouTube, Facebook, come over to Rumble. Here is the link. Come join us on Rumble. We appreciate that. Hit that plus button on the Rumble channel. Appreciate that, guys. All you need to know about the Democratic Party, Real Clear Investigates Deputy Editor Benjamin Wardigan said, several other prominent Twitter users also criticized Biden's stance over this. Well, again, guys, look, I understand that, but if they're right-leaning Twitter users, it's an echo chamber. Mm-hmm. You're saying the same thing we all agree with. Now, when you get a leftist, when you get a liberal to disagree with it openly, then you've got something. Of course, we're going to disagree with this. I would say the people that normally disagree with this type of behavior, by and large, agree with a lot of probably similar stances on major issues. When you can get somebody on the opposing political side to say, wait a minute, this is fucked, then you got something.
Yeah.
Stephen L. Miller, he's right, though. Blue Check on Twitter. He talks about Joe Biden says it's wrong for states, and he says, great, run on it. And he gets it.
Yeah.
He understands. The White House is miles ahead of their skis on this one, Matt Whitlock says. In 100 years, people will back on those who said things like this, who actively participated in harming kids and horror. Biden's administration previously released a series of documents encouraging gender reassignment surgery and hormone treatments for minors. Look, Biden openly admitted that. We've got the sound bites for that. Biden actually came out there and said he is in favor. He tweeted about it. And he said he supports it. That is the official position of the DNC. That is the leader of your party, whether you like it or not. That's who it is. He's the face of your party. And that's what your party now embraces. You can't deny that. Liberals cannot deny that. If that's what your president says, there you go.
Boom.
Boom. You've got people out in California, all these congressmen and women pushing for more of this. And a lot of it stems from the LGBT community. I mean, that's all there is to it. Mm-hmm. So, moving on to the next article. Biden plans to rescue Afghan allies is failing. Biden's plan to rescue Afghan allies is failing due to the State Department backlog, 325,000 unopened emails. Well, there's an easy way to fix that. You just hire Hillary and in a day they're gone. little deleting email joke humor for you. Whatever. Laugh, you fuckers. It's funny. Biden pledged to help Afghan allies, but bureaucratic red tape is backlocking SIV applications. Tens of thousands of Afghans who are trying to get to America under a special visa program for U.S. allies and hundreds of thousands of their family members are stuck in a State Department backlog that is getting worse 14 months after the chaotic U.S. withdrawal of Afghanistan. You know how to fix the border issue? Remove federal oversight and privatize it.
Boom.
There you go. I'm telling you, that will fix it.
Yeah, probably would.
It would. It hands down would. Do the same thing with the DMV. You can still have federal oversight to ensure that standards are being met. But you get your bang for your buck, because here's the deal. Even though, and I know this is a horrible idea in a sense, because you look at Raytheon and shit like that, they're going to find reasons to award contracts for no fucking reason, and the rich get richer. But if you do want to see the problem get solved, privatize it. Privatize the border. That'd be great.
Do you think that would work?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Because again, you're only getting paid based upon outcome. So if the outcome is, oh, border crossings are up, we're going to find somebody else. So it's in that company's best interest to do the best fucking job they can.
Yeah, I think I agree, but there's just so much corruption right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And, I think there's a lot of United States government officials who are tied to drug cartels, and that's why they don't want the border shut completely, so they can still continue their drug running and human trafficking and all that other shit.
Yeah.
So
President Biden pledged to rescue Afghan interpreters and others who worked with the U.S. during the 20-year occupation of Afghanistan, and said that July 2021 that America would continue to fulfill our promise to those who serve shoulder to shoulder. Bro, you can't just turn around and say, hey, we're still coming back for you. I'll leave no man behind. Like, bro, you already left them behind.
Left them.
You know how many people got murdered as a result of that? Like, the very same thing that Afghans told us about why they didn't want to work with us when we were over there happened. They knew America's going to leave us behind and we're going to get slaughtered. And sure as hell, what happened? And you can't blame Trump on that one.
Nope.
Trump facilitated the ceasefire. He facilitated the withdrawal. Biden initiated it, but he fucked it up. Now, realistically, I think this could have been done way better. Way better. But we didn't. We just packed up and bounced. Wrong fucking answer. Wrong answer.
Yeah, Trump went out there and instilled the fear of death into him when he showed him where he lived and said if anything happens to any of the Americans, and he was going to kill him.
Yep. Well, Biden falsely claims he passed his student loan handout by a vote or two during the White House Youth Forum. President Biden flubbed responses about gun control, student debt relief, and abortion during the Now This Forum at the White House. President Biden made multiple false statements during the youth forum. The town hall, which was sponsored by Now This, featured a variety of youth activists who asked the president candid questions about gun legislation, climate change, abortion access, and trans issues. The event was taped on Tuesday and posted online Sunday night. Now, up in Canada, Trudeau is now banned. The government has now banned the sale, exchanging of handguns. I don't know if y'all are tracking on that. Canada they've now officially went that direction. This is from the same person that froze the bank accounts of protesters. Now he's taking away guns. He's going to try and start taking away guns. Do you not see the symptoms of tyranny here? Do you not see the symptoms here? Because it's all over the place. Number one, they've got access to your bank accounts. Way too much federal oversight. Number two, they're trying to take your guns. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I can't understand how that guy's still in office up there.
I think there's just so much corruption. There is so much buying of votes. Dude, it's just to the point where, like, it's the rich. It's got to be the rich paying off the rich. Because poor people, by and large, there's no ignoring this now. I still see liberals on Twitter defending Biden by saying the recession and the inflation that we're facing are a result of failed Trump policies. And I'm sitting there going, you can't be serious with this. You really can't. It's like, no, it was Republican, it was by and large Republicans that caused this. And I'm like, can you give me examples? Because if you can give me examples and the data proves it, okay, I'll listen. But it's very convenient to ignore the fact that Biden takes office and within a month we start seeing the economy just tank. That's interesting to me.
You hear that?
Yeah. But again, this is where we should be.
Yeah.
Is both sides should be demonizing this administration for causing this. But instead, the people on the left, and here's the thing, I know people on the right would do this with Trump, but the people on the left are clinging to the administration and defending them even though they know they're wrong.
Yeah. Politics.
And here's the thing. If you cared, you would demonize them for this and say, look, you fucked this up. Fix this. You're costing us money. But instead, it's like, we're going to cling to Biden and go down with the ship. We're okay paying more in gas because it's a Democrat doing it. If a Republican, it's just insane to me.
Yeah, it's you got a lot of people who aren't wanting him to come out to their events.
Oh yeah, I did see that. You see how he? I got the clip.
Dude,
Hold on,
he
because they were asking him
his shit when people ask him questions, challenging things that he said, or not wanting him to show up at their events.
Yeah,
yeah, it's something else.
Where's it at? Here we go. Listen to this. This is President Biden. This is him being asked about the fact that people did not want him to show up at their events. Listen to how he responds. There is no denying this guy is just, he's gone. Let me turn the volume all the way up. This is just insane to me. Here we go.
Ohio said he doesn't want you there. Warnock said wouldn't say. Do you think they're making a mistake?
No, by 16 there, I've already gone in for you, and a lot more have asked. Another 20 or so. I'm going to be going in.
What? Let's listen to that again.
Ohio said he doesn't want you there. Warnock said wouldn't say. Do you think they're making a mistake?
No, by 16 there, I've already gone in for you, and a lot more have asked. Another 20 or so. I'm going to be going in.
Ohio said he doesn't.
You're just sitting there like, what the fuck did you just say?
I know. And then he fell asleep in that interview on 60 or on CBS. That guy is just not there.
Dude, just watching the interviews at this point,
that shit makes me nervous.
Oh my God.
Like,
the
he
Emperor has no
legitimately
clothes.
fell asleep while the guy was talking to him like an old grandpa.
He's out of it, dude. He's on his way out the door. But Democrats are going to stick by his side. Like, you are literally endorsing a dementia-ridden old man that he's dying. He's dying. There's no denying that. This man is old.
He's old.
He's so old.
He's
an old, rich, white liberal. You elected the very same group of people you demonize so much.
Balls dragging on the ground.
But I do want to cover this story. This was interesting because there's a lot to unpack on this one. MSNBC host claims minority Republican candidates are not voices of color. Despite the facts GOP's racist rhetoric has not slowed at all, they've begun hyping up, get this, their diverse candidates, Cross said while making air quotes with her hands. According to numbers provided by the National Republican Congressional Committee, 80 Republican incumbents or candidates on the ballot next month are women, 33 Latino, 28 are black, and 13 are Asian, and 3 are Native Americans. This black woman comes out there and says this. She says that essentially GOP black people are not voices of color.
Okay.
You're kidding me. This only proves that white liberals have got black liberals so brainwashed into staying on the plantation that now they're identifying their race as being predominantly Democrat. If you are not a black Democrat, then you're not black. They are denying your very existence because you do not vote in accordance with their political viewpoints. The same white KK leader they have elected, hey, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Do you not see this? Black liberals, I'm begging you to listen. Black minorities that are on the left, you need to hear this.
Yeah.
The very same woman in that article that demonizes the GOP of racist rhetoric, blah, 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 it's racist because you think it's racist. It's not actually racist. But then you turn around and you say, well, unless you vote in accordance with how we, the group, think, then you're not in this group. You're not of this group, and you can't call yourself from this group. This is why the left wants a black community. Because by creating that community, which is there, if you do not fall in line with said community, they will ostracize and alienate you from that community. This is how they are. You cannot, I mean, there is no denying at this point. You've got Joy Reid, who says some of those racist-driven black supremacy propaganda out there, and white liberals are sitting there just kind of looking at the sky going, like, well, let's just ignore it because it's not us, blah, blah, blah. But they know good and well that mouth will turn on you and bite you in an instant. They tolerate people like Joy Reid because they are so afraid of her accusing them of racism.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they tolerate her. Because if they canceled her or anything like that or took her off the air, oh my God, lawsuit, racism, discrimination. That's why you don't want to hire these types, because you know it's not quality of work. It's simply based upon sex and race. That's all there is to it. But can you imagine being told that unless you vote in a certain direction, you're not a certain race? You're not a voice of color. Can you, bro, that just... I am mind blown. Like, black people, y'all need to hear this shit. This is from your own people, your own community. How can you sit there and want to be a part of this? If the community is toxic, you need to leave the community.
Yeah.
These very same rich black people want to keep you on the left. And I'm telling you right now, get off welfare. Get off this bullshit. Do not let the government pay for your stuff. Work for yourself. That way you're not a proxy employee of the government. But I cannot even imagine to sit there and have someone tell me that unless you vote a certain way, your voice isn't real. You don't exist. Wow. Black Lives Matter, huh? Certainly not black voices, right? If you're a black leftist, your voice matters. But if you're on the right and you're black, you don't matter. Well, then it's not about black lives then. It's all political bias then. Let's just admit, let's call it for what it is. Unless you're a Democrat, unless you're a liberal, unless you agree with the SJW narrative that has been crafted, then you are denied your race, you're denied your sexuality, you're denied your religion. You're just Hitler incarnate, according to them.
Yeah.
The very same party that had the plant or the plantation, might as well call it that, the narrative of tolerance and inclusivity. Man, y'all have really devolved into some just very intolerant assholes. No wonder nobody, like, you're miserable. You are miserable people. It's just nuts. It's nuts. And Biden even acknowledges that, you know, totally legitimate for voters to be concerned about my age. President Joe Biden said on this week's broadcast of MSNBC's The Sunday Show that his age was a legitimate concern for voters in 2024. Anchor Jonathan Kiphart said, I cannot be with you and not ask you a question concerning my Aunt Gloria, who you may recall was your biggest fan in 2020, because she said we need an old white guy duty to take on old white dude. What? Okay. When I... So then you're saying, and this is a black reporter, so you're saying that a black person couldn't take on this white guy? Trump? Are you kidding me? Wow. Okay. I'm just, okay. That's a stupid thing to admit, lie, but all right, whatever. I mean, these are racist motherfuckers. Like, who gives a shit? Anyway, when I asked her if you should run for election, still, she loves you, but she said she's not sure that you should, given your age. Her one caveat, if Donald Trump runs again, you absolutely have to run again. So let's say Trump does run again. Convince Aunt Gloria that she should stick with you. I love this. And Biden's going to get in front of, oh, yeah, I get it. My age should be a concern for banana peeling apple suitcases in the sky. But, you know, when the Unchained Melody is in the shipyard doing docking procedures with the left and right KO Tyson, then, of course. Fucking what?
Get it together, man.
Get it together.
What do you mean you don't understand what I'm saying?
He says that's totally legitimate, but I think the best way to make the judgment is to, you know, watch me. Am I slowing up? Do I have my same pace? Yeah. You're falling asleep during interviews. You're mumbling your fucking words. That's the whole causation why they don't trust you anymore, because you're too old.
Yeah.
I mean, that in itself, that's a fucking dumb thing. But there you go. But anyway, well, climate crazies. No wonder nobody likes these fucking whack jobs. Climate crazies vandalize wax statue of King Charles to fight climate change. 4 green extremists have been arrested after using cake to vandalize a wax statue of the King and Madame Tussauds. How'd they even get the cake in the front doors is my question. And they're wearing the shirt of the same activists that threw food or whatever on the Van Gogh painting. Yeah. And you look at them. The girl, unattractive. Dude, tall, skinny, no muscle on him. Just a not very good looking guy. Probably not very attractive to the ladies. And of course, this is what they're going to use for their identity to make them feel special and relevant. But what did you really change?
Nothing.
Why don't you go attack these drilling places?
I know.
Why don't you go fuck with some rig workers and see what happens to you? You're using some easy targets. You attacked a painting that can't defend itself, a wax statue of the king, and you accomplish what? More people are hating you now. Like, I think you're a bunch of fucking whack jobs. I would love to see you get shot. It'd be hilarious to me. You about to throw some shit on like another Da Vinci or some shit like that, and they just pop you. Like, hell yeah.
Yeah,
well, hey, it's one less person consuming oxygen, so we're saving the planet.
You're welcome.
Let's eliminate them.
What's their t-shirt say? Just stop it?
Just stop oil.
Oh.
Yeah, guys, just stop it. Why can't we just stop using oil and just let's do solar? What? Okay, whatever you say. Oh my God. Well, Taylor Swift, and this is bro, I love these articles because it's like the very same monster that you have helped feed, raise, train has now come off the leash and is attacking you. And it's so fucking hilarious to watch. Taylor Swift, the once country music idol that went left and turned to the biggest fucking fruitcake there is. Taylor Swift accused of fat phobia over anti-hero music video. Taylor Swift is facing backlash after hurting the feelings of fans over what some are calling fat phobia in the video for her new song, Anti-Hero, criticized as demonizing and shaming the overweight alongside those with eating disorders. Oh my God. You bunch of fucking whiny fat asses. Shut the fuck up. If you did more work on a cardio or on a treadmill, you wouldn't have to worry about shit like this hurting your feelings, but instead you double down and then eat your feelings.
I know.
Good Lord. Can obesity just take these fucking idiots out already? It's ridiculous.
It's just a matter of time.
Thank God for that. I am so tired of these fucking idiots. Use the word fat as being singled out for the criticism. In the video, I'm sorry. Is fat an adjective? Is it an accurate adjective? Yes, you are fat. I mean, you kidding me? You are either fat or you're skinny or whatever. I mean, you can also be malnourished. You can be. There's so many different things in there. But you want to attack the word fat because it hurts your feelings? Why? You should have your feelings hurt. You're fat. It's disgusting. It's not healthy. And neither is being underweight. So get your shit together and stop fucking just, oh my God. If you spent more time working on your own shit versus complaining about the likes of Taylor Swift who doesn't give a fuck. Seriously. It's hilarious. When she steps on the scale, the word fat immediately appears in capital letters on the dial, and she has a look of fear and self-judgment on her face. And that's the funny part about it is I guarantee this video was not condemning fat people, and it was probably more in line with their thinking. They're just too fucking stupid to realize that.
I guarantee I won't watch it.
Oh, that's how funny this is. You watch this like, no, she's actually talking in favor of the points that y'all make, but you're demonizing her for it.
That's not how we want to be represented.
It's like the N word. You just don't say it. You don't say the F word. What, fat? Oh my God, you can't say that. The scene drew criticism online after the video's release for allegedly demonizing and shaming fat people while offending the collective feelings of the overweight. There's an overweight community. Where is this? Where do you have your meetings? I want to see this. Do you all just like rumble upstairs like together out of breath? And you have like your own little fucking meeting room that the only way to get there is like these little escalators like you see in the airports that just take. It's like the scene out of WALL-E. You have these floating little fucking chairs or hoverboards and all you fat fucks are just doing it. And it's not that I hate fat people. I hate people that are intentionally lazy and you're fat because of your shitty ass choices. That's who I hate. It's ridiculous. Don't sit there and demand people, you know, again, it's like a fat person or an obese person having one seat on an airplane when they are clearly spilling over into the other one. It's like, fuck no. This is your problem. Buy 2 seats. If you can't afford to buy 2 seats, lose weight or drive.
Have you ever sat next to a fat person on a plane?
I refuse.
I'm telling you. If
that happens, I'll tell the stewardess, like, I didn't pay for this. I paid for my space. This person is taking my space. I want a different seat or I want a refund. Or you move them. Like, this is ridiculous. I should not be forced to suffer because somebody is sitting there and they're too fat and then like, fuck no. Oh, fuck no. That's ridiculous. It's very rude to people. And yet I should be the one to be like, hey, you're going to hurt their feelings. I don't give a fuck about their feelings. You're physically in my area. Because if you can't put the bonbons down, fat fuck. America needs to go back to the way it was. Fat shame. It works. It does. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Taylor Swift's music video, where she looks down on the scale where it says fat, is a shitty way to describe her body image struggles. Fat people don't need to have it reiterated yet again that it's everyone's worst nightmare to look like us. Well, it is. I mean, you think I want to be fat?
I dropped like 20 pounds.
Yeah, you've been kicking ass in the gym.
I feel so much better. And it's just been, you know, watching what I eat, intermittent fasting, and just staying consistent at the gym. Not going crazy or anything. Mm-hmm. You just feel better, but you stick with it. You stay consistent, and a year and a half later, you know, you'll get there. Yeah, you will get there. It is not a short.
No, but it took you a long time to get to that level. It's going to take you a long time to undo it. Right. But that's why people should be celebrating that. Like if you were fat and you lost the weight, you should be celebrating that. Yeah. Like you accomplished that. You also made yourself fat. Don't ignore that fact. But that's one of those things like I'm never going to let that happen because I've been out of the Army 6 years. I'm still in great shape. I feel amazing. And everybody was like, oh, he's going to get fat when he gets out. Like, no, I'm not. I've developed habits every day. Every morning I'm in the gym. I'm not in there like destroying myself. Right. But I go in there and I just do maintenance and I take care of my body. Sometimes like, okay, I'm putting on a little weight. I gotta start upping the cardio. but clean bill of health, blessed to have that. But don't sit there and pretend like you're a fat body that you have basically consumed more calories than you're burning, which gets translated or gets turned into fat. Don't sit there and then say that that's a good thing. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. Mm-hmm. And I love how COVID came in and who'd they wipe out primarily?
Fat people.
Obese motherfuckers. And those same people, those same overweight motherfuckers that are wanting to dance around your feelings and spare your feelings are the ones that got a lot of these people killed. No apologies. Nobody, Tess Holiday, nothing. Nobody's demonizing them. Nobody's holding them to task. Like, oh no, empower the fat people. We already had COVID killing you left and right because of your heart disease issues. But yeah, let's spare your feeling. This is how ridiculous our society has become. And I'm telling you right now, folks, don't sugarcoat it around these people. Stop being afraid to call this shit out for what it is. You are going to make enemies. But if you go tongue-in-cheek and you roll your eyes and you look away, that's only letting this continue to spread. These people need to understand. There are people out there that will call you on your bullshit. Mm-hmm. You're not going to sit there and get people bending the knee because they're afraid of the narrative and being canceled. No. People need to start standing up and calling the trans out on its bullshit, the LGBT on its bullshit, fat people on their bullshit. This is all unhealthy bullshit. It is not productive. Mm-hmm. There is no good that comes from this, and it all comes from your fucking feelings. Yeah. Well, fuck your feelings. They don't matter. But I do love how Taylor Swift, that went woke, now the same monster. And she's going to do what Izzo or Lizzo or whatever that dumb bitch did. She's going to apologize. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. And I don't think that Taylor Swift meant it in the way they are interpreting it. In fact, I know she didn't. But they're also too stupid to realize this. Like, you shouldn't even put the word fat on there because it just reiterates what people think of us. Wow. So the word fat offends you? Just reading the word fat offends you. That's how sensitive you become. It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. Your feelings control you. You're that mentally weak. Think
You're
about
welcome.
it. You're welcome.
Happy Monday, everybody.
You motherfuckers.
It's going to be a rough one.
Well, Tim Burton, director of Nightmare Before Christmas and other great movies. You can always tell a Tim Burton film by the way it's filmed, and it's claymation, isn't it?
I don't think it's claymation.
Is it a certain type of animation? Isn't it? Like Nightmare Before Christmas?
I don't think it's claymation. I
think it is claymation, isn't it? Is Tim Burton films primarily like James and the Giant Peach? That's Tim Burton, isn't it? That's claymation.
I don't know.
Am I wrong on that?
I've never seen it, Fatty.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
I don't know. Anyway, Tim Burton's come out and said he has finished making movies for the Walt Disney Company, describing working for the studio like being trapped in a horrible big circus. People in the chat are saying claymation. Take that, you stupid fuck. Yeah, how do you like that?
Look it up.
Look it up. In a conversation over the weekend at the Lumiere Festival in Lyon, France, where he received a career award, the filmmaker revealed that his 2019 live-action version of Dumbo likely marked the end of his long-running association with Disney. My history is that I started out there, Burton said, according to a Deadline report. I was hired and fired like several times throughout my career there. The thing about Dumbo is that's why I think my days with Disney are done. I realized that I was Dumbo, that I was working in this horrible big circus and I needed to escape. The movie is quite autobiographical at a certain level. Over the years, Burton has made a number of movies with Disney, including the 2010 box office smash Alice in Wonderland. But he said Disney has changed tremendously in recent years. It's gotten to be very homogenized, very consolidated. There's less room for different types of things, he reportedly said, adding he would never do a Marvel superhero movie. I can only deal with one universe. I can't deal with a multiverse. The Walt Disney Company has come under fire in recent months for embracing the radical LGBTQ and gender politics. The company picked a political fight with Florida by opposing the state's anti-grooming law, the Parental Rights and Education Law, which they AKA know it as the can't say or don't say gay bill. And that's just, again, that's how Democrats are. You literally deny what the facts are. Like if you read the bill, and it's like it literally doesn't say anything about don't say gay. Literally not even in there. It doesn't even say you can't do that. But again, Democrats by and large are slimy, slippery scumbags, and they use this narrative to say, oh, it's the don't say gay bill. And it doesn't even say anything about that. Yeah. It doesn't even say you can't say straight shit either. It says no talking to children, I think K whatever through 5th, that you can't bring up anything sexual. That's fair. But Democrats lied. They covered it up. Oh, it's the don't say gay. It's not that. It's not that whatsoever. But can you finally see when you craft a narrative, If you can get enough people to buy into that narrative and echo the very same speaking points, it becomes truth in their own mind. This is how brainwashing works. You repeat the lie enough, and eventually the masses, by and large, will believe it. That's why they deny science, they deny gender, they deny chromosomes, they deny everything. They are liars living in this alternate reality because life is too hard for them. Mm-hmm. The weak are now controlling society, and the strong are letting it happen by keeping silent. Don't keep silent. Go to social media, speak your fucking mind. Don't back down. Don't bend the knee. You're going to lose friends, but the truth deserves it. This is the shit right here that should be fought against the illusions of truth. The don't say gay. It's a fucking farce. As Breitbart News reported, Disney CEO Bob Chapek caved to a woke group of employees who demanded the company take a stand against Florida law. Dude, I'm telling you, these are not the people that you should give a fuck about having their dollars, because they are eventually going to go away. They're going to lose steam. Every time woke culture does that, they fixate on a target. They eliminate the target by getting it to apologize. They move on to the next one. They forget all about you. And you're left in the dirt. You don't come back from it. But when you don't apologize, you're cemented and you're good. They're never going to fuck with you again because they knew they couldn't press you into breaking. What are they going to do? It's the truth. Biden says totally legitimate. Okay, we talked about this. Well, the last article for the day, Kanye. You see, the problem with people like Kanye is he gets some things right and he gets some things wrong. And he says shit that just like, what the fuck? The ecosystem. Yeah, this is a real thing. Kanye West planning his own universe with branded food and homes. What? What? Okay. Yeah, all right. Amid an escalating cancel culture campaign that has seen key business partners sever ties with him, Kanye West is reportedly laying the foundation for what appears to be a self-contained business universe called the Ecosystem, or Yeezyverse, that will offer branded homes, food, retail stores, and more. What? Okay. I mean, the Yeezyverse is actually intended to be a physical place, sources told Rolling Stone. The first community formed around the fledgling West brand is already in development, with an initial campus set to open early as next month. In September, West filed a group of trademark applications under the names Ecosystem and Yeezyverse, which sources told Rolling Stone are a step toward the billionaire's vision of his own self-contained universe. Okay, now if this dude's creating like a retreat for people to go and get education and stuff like that, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Fair enough. But the way they're writing this, it makes it sound like he's trying to create his own Yeezyverse and ecosystem. It's like, wait, what? But if he's creating like his own college campus, bro, props to you. That's amazing. That's incredible. I can't knock that, but it doesn't sound like that's what he's doing. I could be wrong. Let's keep reading. Again, I don't pre-read these articles. Let's keep reading. The applications filed September 23rd by West Company Mascot Holdings reportedly include 13 different sets of protections from items and services, including branded food and beverages, retail stores, and online presence bearing Yee's name. The self-sustaining enterprise is aiming to offer enough branded businesses to be self-sufficient and act as a small city run entirely by West's brands, Rolling Stone reported. He's trying to do shit that people couldn't even conceive of, and he's trying to make it happen, the magazine reported, sources saying. He comes from a good place. It's definitely his goal that everything that people touch, that's his a good thing and has a good impact on the world. Kanye West is currently in the midst of a media firestorm for a series of anti-Semitic comments he made in recent days. As Breitbart News reported, two behemoths of the fashion world, Vogue magazine and Balenciaga, have reportedly stated they will no longer work with Kanye West after billionaire rapper and fashion mogul disparaged Jewish people and spread the conspiracy theory that black Africans are the true Israelites of the Hebrew Bible. Did he actually say that?
Yeah.
Oh, he's an idiot. Jesus. Again, you got to take what this guy says, issue by issue.
Yeah.
That's Kanye. You're just sitting there looking at this going like, how can people just think this guy's like a messiah? He's a fucking moron sometimes. And I get that we get things wrong. I understand that. I'm not trying to take that away from any single person out there. But when you do shit like this and say that black people are true, it's like, wow.
I don't know. I don't understand where he's getting that information from.
That's what I'm curious about.
Because I'm pretty sure that's not in the Bible, right?
No. In fact, I mean, if you want to trace it back, some people believe that Islam spanned from the children of Ishmael, which was Abraham's handmaiden that bore, oh God, what was his name? Not Isaac. Oh, fuck, I forget the name. Anyway, that's just the biblical interpretation of it. But as far as scientific, I have no idea. But I also know that's not true.
Yeah, it's like the what do they call it? The Black Israelite Hebrews or something like that?
Black Israelite Hebrew.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's the same guys who were yelling at Nick Sandman and those kids, like calling them.
Oh God. I forget that name. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. What was that group?
I thought that was their name.
What?
The Black Israelite Hebrews.
It could be.
I thought that was the name, but that sounds like some of the stuff that they believe in as well. Like they're the real.
Do you think Kanye's just doing this to stay relevant and in the spotlight? Do you think he's saying all this stuff because of that?
I honestly think this is what he thinks. I think he's had enough experiences with elites and people who actually call the shots that this is his solution to this problem. So he felt like, here's a guy who came up from nothing and made himself into a superstar and then started this other business, and now he's worth what, $10-11 billion.
Yeah.
So
he's worth a lot.
Yeah. So I think in his mind he can conceptualize it and make it manifest because he's done it his entire career so far.
True.
So if that's his end goal is to, if he wants to help people, good for him.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
Who am I to say, stop doing what you're doing or cast aspersions on his ideas or whatever.
It's just the phrasing of it though, like to create your own Yeezy verse. It's just like, wait, so if
he
it's
loves his name,
oh, he does, but he's also great at branding. But at the same token, it's just like the Yeezy verse. Would you want to live in an area that almost feels like a king? I don't like the sound of that. Living in the Berkey verse. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think I would.
That comes across very weird.
Like personally, name it something different.
Yeah.
If you're gonna, not just keep.
Yeah. Which
going
it's
back
still
to the
the
well.
same. Yeah, the money still goes to the same place. I get it, but that's just very. I don't know, man. That's just weird to me. But I mean, we'll see what happens in this. But again, Kanye is just one of those people that I take with a grain of salt. When he says some things, like, yeah, he's right on that. Other things, like, no, bro, you're way off the mark.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is when Kanye talks about Jewish people in the entertainment industry, I think he's onto something here. Because I feel like Kanye's not going to lie about something like that. He knows that's going to get him. Kanye's not stupid by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. He's a little off his rocker in some areas. But to say something that he did about Jewish people in the entertainment industry, that comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
Why? Why would you say that? Could it be because it's true? I'm asking some very serious questions here. Could it be because it's true? And if it is true, why are we not talking about this? Why are we so afraid to have this conversation about Jewish people?
Right.
And I think the reason for it is I saw a friend of mine post that there was this overpass with a bunch of white dudes doing the Zig Heil where it said Kanye's right about the Jews and they're outright Nazis. The problem is when you have a conversation about this, instantaneously, the anti-Semites will come and attach themselves to your movement because they think that you are leaning in their direction when in fact you're not. You're saying we have to look at certain things as far as is there equality across the board in the entertainment industry in regards to Jewish people helping out Jewish people or Jewish people in control of black hip hop artists and the like and entertainers. Yeah. If that's true, we should look into this. This is a serious thing. And people by and large on all sides of the aisle are saying this is an issue. So Kanye bringing it to light, let's talk about it. Let's have this conversation. Yeah. I'm interested to hear more about this because it's like, look, we cannot sit there and deny that Jewish people don't do this if it's real because black people do it, white people do it, everybody does it. But suddenly if you say that about Jewish, and I'm not like criticizing Jewish people by and large. I'm saying there are those that clearly are going to look out for their own tribe. Why? Well, if we look at the causation of this, they're probably one of the most persecuted people in the history of fucking mankind. Like seriously. Still doubtful over in Palestine, shit like that. I get that. But at the same token, if we look at, what Jews were allowed to do job and trade wise throughout time, money lending and trading, that was one of them. That's what became so good with money. That's a proven fact. You can go look this up. It's true. But, and nowadays, it's like they talk about like the Weinsteins and shit like that. They're in showbiz. They're in the music industry. They're very prominent there. My God, even in that Walk Hard comedy, they talk about the Jewish owners. Yeah. Where did that come from? You think they pulled that out of their ass? Right. Folks, and I'm not saying it's true by and large, but where there's a stereotype, there comes from a kernel of truth. Black people can jump. Black people are fast. Oh, that's racist, not true. Then why is it that black people dominate sports? Because they're better. They're just better. Does that make it better as a race? No, it's just they're good at certain things. White people can't dance. Asian people are great at fucking education. math by and large. Women can't fucking drive. White dudes, well, I shouldn't say white. They say Asian dudes have small dicks. I've seen porn. Black dudes have big dicks. Guys, white dudes, we're kind of in the middle. Okay. It's okay that there are stereotypes. You don't have to apply it to every single person, but fuck me running. I mean, it's just the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
But if Kanye is bringing this up, then I'm interested in hearing more about this conversation. Now, when you continue saying other things like, you know, we're the actual Jewish people, it's like, oh, okay, wait a minute, bro. Now you're really bringing some discredit to your point. So I'm always open to listen and hear about that from both sides of this, because I think it's interesting. I think it's very interesting. But there are going to be people out there that when you hear me say something like that, well, John Burke's anti-Semite now. It's like, no, I'm not. But I do want to hear where this comes from. Is there a predominant number of Jewish managers and agents in the entertainment industry? And if there is, why? Mm-hmm. Are they hiring based upon equality? Are they hiring based upon merit? Are they hiring based upon only upon their Judaism, if you will?
Sort of like nepotism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, it's wrong. If we don't want black people to do it, why is it okay for Jewish people to do it if they are doing it? In order to answer that question, we need to have this conversation. Mm-hmm. The end goal is not to demonize anybody, but it is to get equality across the board. But that's just all there is to it. Well, that does it for today's episode. I got to get to work on the new Valor podcast. I'm not going to lie. I haven't even fucking started it. I know what I want it to be about, but I got to get started with it. Hit that plus button on the Rumble page. Appreciate y'all being here. Oh my God, I got so much stuff I got to get to after this. I love you. I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you for sharing the podcast. Go leave us a review on iTunes. We cannot thank you enough. If you want to follow us, go over to iTunes, look up John Burke, and follow the podcast. It really helps us out. It helps get the numbers up, and telling your friends about it, sharing the podcast with them helps out more than you know. We appreciate you being here and listening and checking out shellshockcbd.com. Don't forget to subscribe. You got anything else to add, my man?
You guys have a great day.
As always, you stay savage, America.